Hello! Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's Pick a Read reading. Can't spell it out. I'm going to use these two decks for this reading. Wisdom of the House of Night Oracle cards by... it's back here somewhere. If you look online, you can find out who it's from. Danielle Dushnes? I'm not believing I'm saying that right. Here, I'll get a little closer just in case you want to see it. But if you look it up online, you'll find it. And the Bonefire Tarot by Gabby Angus West. All right. So we're going to do 5 piles. Let's see if I can get these in frame. Okay. This is the one. There we go. Now, I'm not sure how many I'm going to put out, but we'll find out in a second. A little bit more, I think. Okay. Now we'll do this one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's all I want to do with those for whatever reason. Per usual, I'm going to put these out there with them. And there's the stones. Okay. So, how are we going to do this? Let's see. I want to start with this one, actually. I'm going to do Amethyst first. We'll do Jade second. Move that over to the side here. Citrine we'll do third. Rose Quartz we'll do fourth. And then we'll finish it off with the clearer Quartz. So let me just get these in line here, hoping that I keep them in order. We'll find out by the end of the video, that's for sure. Alright, so the question was, how do we end this disagreement? So hopefully you were thinking about that when I had those out there. I just realized I did that a little late, but it should be in the title, so going forward to this you probably already know. So how do we end this disagreement? And for those of you who chose Amethyst, I'm going to actually move this right out of the way. I feel like it's starting to confuse the readings a little bit if I do too much about the stones. So it is a spiritual stone, usually spiritual based, just so you know. I'm not going to just go crazy about that part though for some reason. Now this we want to keep face down for some reason, we'll find out. Alright, so... oh, this one's upside down. So going into this situation, it looks like part of the history is like somebody feels they were slighted. There's a disagreement here because one person at least, I feel like when I see Two of Cups reversed, to me it feels like betrayal. Almost like somebody did something unexpected or somebody didn't hold up to an agreement. Maybe an unspoken agreement where, you know, two people thought they would be together forever and then one person walked away. When I'm feeling this, I'm getting kind of a little bit of a passion for discord, like somebody feels slighted. Coming right into this, somebody already has sour feelings. Now, when the High Priestess of Spirit comes into this next part of the situation, I feel like this is talking about why it's still a problem. Somebody's trying to find a way to vent how they feel. And it almost feels like the disagreement isn't really... it's not really, I don't know, it's like the reason it's still a problem is like the other person is trying to find a way to vent their feelings, so they're purposely finding problems so that they can vent their unhappiness of a situation. To be fair with this could be something where you're dealing with a person who's going through some type of heartache or heartbreak that doesn't have anything to do with you, but they can't seem to resolve it with the person they are angry with, so you're getting kind of like that offshoot, that like displaced anger, if you will. I can't think of what the actual term is right off the top of my head, but it's almost like they're projecting their anger for somebody else towards you, and the more they can vent it towards you, the more they can take it out on you, the more they're kind of dealing with their feelings for something else. It's kind of like they're unhappy with somebody else and they can't say anything to that person. So rather than just stifling down and choking on these feelings, they're venting this anger out towards you. Now what do we have here at the bottom? Waiting doesn't change anything. Turn around and make a new choice. what I'm getting here, I feel like this is like a no-win situation at the moment. Like, whatever this person is upset with you about, I just feel like it's not really grounded in the thought of working things out. They're actually enjoying, I wouldn't say enjoying, but they're venting out their feelings. And it feels like you're a scapegoat. To me, it feels like you're a scapegoat. You're just being used to vent these feelings out. So it's realizing on your side that there's nothing that you can do to make this better, because I feel like this person, whoever you're having this problem with, it's just like every time you turn around, there's a new problem. And you're just like, how come I can't get ahead on this? How come we can't figure this out or fix this? It's because they're not in the place, they don't really want to. They're venting out these feelings. It's becoming an acceptable way in their mind for them to do this. They keep doing it. Now you're noticing down here you got the playful card next to the Two of Swords. Maybe easier said than done, but I feel like this is the advice. When you realize there's really no winning, it's disconnecting from the reaction, because that's going to take the wind out of this person's sails. I almost feel like this is one of the reasons this person keeps coming toward you, because they are upsetting you and they're getting that feedback that they want. They want to upset somebody. They seem to be upsetting you. They're feeling vindicated by upsetting somebody. It may not even be something they're realizing they're doing, but they're getting that satisfaction. Somebody did them wrong. They're doing somebody else wrong. They're feeling like they're balancing this in their own weird way. It's kind of like, as long as that energy comes back towards them, like they're upsetting you and they got you on the run, so to speak, they're feeling vindicated. They're feeling good. I remember somebody explaining this once, like somebody having a very bad mood, and while they're treating somebody poorly, the person that's doing the victimizing is feeling like $1,000,000 because they're sucking that energy right off of you. And they're becoming very much addicted to it. So when you have the playful card coming into this, it says how you end this disagreement is to start detaching from the emotional component. Just stepping back and doing the best you can, and then just like, you know what, realizing it doesn't matter if I do it right or I do it wrong, this person will be upset. So it's not like not expecting to make this person happy, but not getting upset when they get upset. Like pretty much realizing they're going to be upset, but because they're trying to make you upset, they're kind of getting off on it. When you disconnect and you stop playing into it, they do have the letting go card, but I'm also seeing it upside down. They're not going to give this up easy, is what I'm seeing this reversed. But the less you play into it, the less they can like get from you, the less they can upset you, the less they're going to invest in doing this to you. Like they're going to find either a new target, quite frankly, or they're going to realize that this isn't solving their problem. Because I feel like this person coming towards you, they're just upset about something. It could be you, but I feel like for the majority of you, it's not. It's somebody else. They're upset about something. They're just very angry about something, and they just want to take it out on somebody. When you stop playing, I know it says playful here, but it's basically like you're having a better feeling with this. You're not playing into it anymore. I feel like that's more the energy here. You're not playing into their game anymore. They're not getting that satisfaction anymore. I do feel like with the letting go reversed, they will let go, but they're going to keep trying to get to you. They really do seem to be getting off on this situation, but they're like saying don't play into their game. Turn around and just, if they're upset, so what? Do the best you can. Just look at it analytically. Expect them to be upset. Just don't play into it. You know, if they're having a bad day or they're just rotten, just expect them to be rotten. One of these things, one of the tricks with this, I feel like, is this person may be, like when I said before, like they have you on the run, like you see them walking down the hall and you walk a different way, or you turn a corner so you don't have to deal with them. This is part of their game. They like that because it's like a power trip for them. So if you find that you're doing that, and you see them walking down the hall and you walk a different way, or you find a way to just not go near them, or maybe you're walking around the office so you don't have to walk by their desk or their office. One of the things to stop this energy is to start facing them. Don't walk away. Don't walk a different direction. Don't let them change your current trajectory. If you would normally walk by their office, or if you would normally keep walking down this hall if they weren't there, then do that. And if they say something, just realize they might, but just kind of play it off like, oh, okay. Don't walk away from them. Because the more you face them, I feel like it starts to turn around on them. Like you're not intimidating them. They're not intimidating you anymore. that's lessening the game for them. They're not enjoying it as much because I feel like this person, whoever it is liking that. So the more of that you take away from them, the more you just keep going towards them. You know, you're pleasant to them. You don't play into the game anymore. You just expect them to be upset. I don't know if you want to go that far, but you just don't expect a good or bad reaction. You're just like, they're going to do what they're going to do. I just got to rely on myself to make my best decisions. The less you let them affect you, the better this is going to go, the sooner this will end. They are going to fight it, though, just to be fair, because they seem to be really getting some jollies off this, just to be fair. All right. That's what we have for Amethyst. Let's see what we got for the next one. I actually think that one went pretty well. In the sense of, I don't think that went negative. Sometimes I do these and, it seems like it's a harsh answer. All right, so we got this. Let's see. Okay. So we got this, which it says, unforeseen circumstances, others may be involved, because I know my writing is not the best, so I didn't take too much time, going crazy with writing the messages out. I just wanted to get the messages out. I just read them, so I figure you'll get the messages either way. Now, Jade, you got Jade here. My mind is actually going blank on this. I tend to think of it as a luck stone, but it's not. There's more to it. My mind is just going blank, so I feel like this is just to pull you towards this reading, so hopefully it goes your way. I don't know why, I use this thing all the time. Mind is literally going blank, so we're going to let it be. Knight of Swords coming into this. So somebody is actively starting this situation. Ironically, when I'm feeling this, it's almost like an agreed moment. Like, you and somebody else, when this conversation started, you were very vocal with each other, but you were supposed to be, is what I'm getting. Like, you were supposed to talk things out. You're supposed to talk about something. It's like, whatever the situation was that started this disagreement, you should have been talking anyway. And you were actively participating. It doesn't seem bad to me. But what I get is, as the talk keeps going on, it just seems to not get any better. And it's like there's literally a big disagreement. Now, when it says unforeseen circumstances and others may be involved, other people are influencing somebody. More than likely the other person. I feel it over here. This is the other side from what I'm feeling. So whatever you're dealing with, there's a third or fourth even party influence going on here, and this person is trying to go forward with what other people have told them they need to do. I'm actually getting a feeling here like somebody is telling this other person, don't let so-and-so push you around, as if you're trying to push them around, or that you're just going to get your way or something like that. And somebody is standing behind them don't let that person get their way. They always get their way. And I almost feel like for some of you, you're getting this adversity because of a third or possibly even a fourth party pushing on that person over here you're dealing with, saying, if you back down now, you're always going to be backing down. It doesn't matter if you agree or not. You need to stand your ground and make this go your way. I'm feeling that energy here, which it feels unbalanced in the sense of they literally could go along with you. And I feel like you're actually working and trying to work this out with them, trying to find a fair balance. And they're just saying, no, it has to go my way. It almost feels like this side over here that you're dealing with, it has to totally go my way. And they want it to go their way. As if they're going to get control, or this gives them some more power over a whole situation. They're trying to force their will. But I feel like there's another person here, the third or fourth party, especially with the way this message comes in, telling them, if you keep backing down, you're never going to get anything in life. I'm getting that feeling here. So there's this disagreement. You're trying to come to a happy medium, is what I'm getting. But you're not really having the luck with it. And it's interesting, we have Jade here, and I do kind of feel there is some luck with Jade, and I do feel like this is Jade, unless I'm using the wrong name for this. My brain is literally going blank. I use this stone all the time. It's killing me that my brain is going blank. Maybe I'm not supposed to center on that energy so much. We just used it to get you here. So I'll put it away for right now. If it comes back, it comes back. Now, there as this steps back and there's a breather, I'm feeling this other side here. Like, I feel like there's a couple people talking things out, and like, what do they need to do next? How do they make this work? I know it says meditation, but I feel like it's like working with other people, trying to find a different way to come in here to get things to go in line the way they want it to do. And I feel like you've got to help yourself figure out what's the real goal here. And I know it says summon, but I feel like you're figuring it out. Like, wait a minute. Why aren't they working with me? Who else is connected with this person? Where have I had a problem like this before? It's like you're slowly kind of like catching on. Maybe some of you quicker than others, just to be fair. But you're kind of like, wait a minute. Something isn't right here, because I'm trying to help this person out. And I feel like some of you are even bending over backwards. Like, I'm doing everything I can to make this, a happy median. And they don't want to meet me halfway. Something's a little off here. Something's not right. And when it says summon, I feel like you're going to also have to like try to find out what's going on in this situation. You're going to have to pull in other information. I almost feel like the unforeseen circumstances others may be involved is also telling you it's fair for you to get other people involved too. Just because you can't see who else this person is dealing with doesn't mean that you have to just keep all this information yourself. Talk about this with other people. Get other people to stand with you and help you try to figure out, what do I need to do to make this work out? Because I feel like when you bring other people involved, it changes the whole dynamic. When you pull in other people, and I don't see you trying to take advantage of anything, just kind of like, what do we need to do to work this out? When you do that, it seems to like back off this energy a lot. It's like, I feel like this disperses over here. It's kind of like the other people that were trying to egg this person on to like get control, get their way, they just seem to kind of trail off. And I feel like it's just you and this person again, but now you have a couple people like backing you up saying, I think this would be fair for everybody, you and me, everybody involved, and this is what I think we should do, and this is why. And I've talked this out with other people, and this is why, I got their opinions and how they've dealt with similar circumstances and why it's worked out for the best this way. I got confidence here, and it makes me feel like, it's like when I see this, like, she's a very beautiful lady, but she's an older lady there, and it makes me feel like this is somebody who pulls on their wisdom. And it's kind of like looking at it with a new set of eyes, pulling in like history here, with like other people and what other people have done and why this should go this way. And I feel like it's hard to argue against. I do feel like this is going to go fairly forward. And when I say fairly forward, I feel like you've also kind of like curtailed what you thought should happen, because other people have added their influence and said, all right, I understand you want it to do this, but if you do that, these are the problems you'll probably incur. And I understand they want that, and part of that's right, but I wouldn't do this because these are the problems you would incur. And other people who have experience are saying, this is the way we would do it, and this is why. And they're explaining it, and it's different from what you originally thought. It's different from what they originally thought. I feel like this is taking the whole situation into a different level, a different arena. It's kind of what it feels like. You're making a different decision, and this other person is like, they're putting down their adversity to it because of this third-party influence you're pulling in. I feel like they already had that on their side, but it was more hidden. You're bringing it forward. I don't feel like you're hiding it as much. And when you're bringing forth experience and knowledge from other people and what they think, and you're just like, it's different from what I thought, and it's different from what you thought, but I think it's a better outcome for both of us, I just feel that the adversity is kind of melting away. And they're just kind of like, all right, that's good. It's almost kind of like neither of you are getting your way, even though you're happy with the outcome, and I feel like you are happy with the outcome. The reason they're happy is kind of like they don't feel like they're losing, but they don't feel like you're winning either. But you don't feel like, I don't know. It's kind of a stalemate success type feel. Like they don't feel like they're giving in to you. It's kind of the thing here, and they're backing off. It's weird. But that would end this disagreement. But I feel like you're pulling in this third party and being upfront about it. This energy here doesn't feel like they're really losing anything. They're not really winning either, quite frankly, but it's a weird feeling. This would end this disagreement. I'm going to be fair, because I am catching into some energy like you're probably going to have more problems with this person. you may have been having small problems in the past with this person, but I feel like this is going to be more intense going forward. You're getting through this situation, but I feel like what they're saying with whoever you're having this disagreement with, plan for bigger problems down the line and start finding a way to work around that now. Because I feel like this person or whoever this is, whatever the situation is, it's going to be more of a problem the farther it goes down the line. Just a heads up on that. Alright, I think that's good. Alright, we're going to let that be. It's still shocking me that stone... I have a feeling I didn't use the right name for it. My mind is literally going blank, which is weird, but it is. Going blank. Alright, let's go into the next one. Citrine, which is holding to your God center, holding to what you think is right, which makes me already want to see this. Shield yourself, but look at the true cause. That's what we got there. This is a good stone for that. Oh, okay. Okay. So this... Shield yourself, but look at the true cause. And you got Citrine here, which is kind of like self-loyalty. Like, don't sell yourself down the river just to make people happy. Just be careful about that. Because I see, like, we're heading towards a place where we're going to not make it so complicated. We're going to really simplify these things because I feel like that's the best way to get this situation to move on. But I'm noticing here you got message with the Knight of Wands reversed. And the top half is usually the querent, the person asking, the person who chose this reading. If you chose it, this should be your side up here. It's not always, but this should be kind of your side. Take it with a grain of salt. You know which side you fit with better. But I'm getting like a message coming in. I feel like this should be you delivering the message, quite frankly. Trying to get somebody to move forward. They've got the Knight of Wands reversed, which is telling me action is actually happening. But I feel like they're doing what they want instead of what the message. Like, you brought in the message. It's almost like you said, you know what? The milk truck isn't coming today. So you're going to want to find other recipes to make for dinner that don't require milk. And they're just like, I'll do what I want. I have powdered milk, so I'll just make things with powdered milk. And it doesn't come out well, is what I'm getting. It just doesn't come out well, is what I'm getting. But I feel like literally you're telling them, don't do this. The truck's not coming. Like, it's just a message. You're just telling them the milk isn't coming today. You're going to want to you're going to want to choose things that don't require milk. It seems very simple. And I feel like that's the point of this whole, like, why we're using milk as an analogy here. It's very simple what you're telling this person. And they're like, I'm going to do what I want. I wanted whatever. I wanted to make a custard. And I need milk for that, but I have powdered milk, so I'm going to make it work. I'm going to do it anyway. And from what I understand, I don't think you can make a custard out of powdered milk. I could be wrong, but just for argument's sake, we're going to say they screwed it up. But they insisted on doing it, and they screwed it up. Okay, so this person now seems to be really angry. This person seems to be angry with you, as if you caused them to fail. That's what I'm getting from that, as if they're holding it against you for their failure. Meanwhile, all you did was give them the message. I'm feeling on your side, all you did was give them the message, the milk's not coming today. You're going to want to choose something different. They decided they're going to do what they wanted anyway. They were going to ignore your message and work around it, and they failed, is what I'm getting. And they're trying to make it out like it's your fault that they failed, is what I'm feeling here. If this is hitting, that's how this is coming right in. So this is the start of it, but they're saying shield yourself, because I feel like you have negativity coming towards you. Like, this person is sending a lot of negativity your way and people are blaming you for things. I feel like you just got to hold it strong and like, wait a minute. Tell me what you're blaming me for. What did I do wrong? And I feel like when people are like saying, well, the whole banquet we had planned failed because the food was horrible. And we heard that you're the one who screwed up the order. And then they're like, wait a minute. I screwed up the order for what? And then you have to drill it down to find out, what was the food that was bad? Well, it was the souffle, or whatever word I used before. And you're like, well, I don't know how they made that because we didn't get any milk, and I warned them that we weren't going to get any milk. And you're like having to talk this out, like, all right, let me look into this, and then you're finding out what actually happened. Like, you have to drill it down and like shield yourself from the negativity, listen to the negativity, but like drill it down. Like, wait a minute, you're blaming me for this banquet going bad. Why did the banquet go bad? The food. Okay, the food was bad. So why? How does that connect to me? Well, you were supposed to order the food and you ordered the wrong things. Okay, what dishes were the bad dishes? And I feel like that's like, this is like a little tricky piece. It's like people are saying you ordered the wrong thing or something like that. It's an analogy, granted. You're like, you have to go a little farther. Like, wait, what dishes were exactly bad? And you're finding out they're milk-based dishes, and you're like, well, I warned the people who were cooking that day that we weren't going to have milk. It was not coming. So if they plan to do that, I need to find out what they used to make that happen, and let me find out what actually happened. Because I warned them, I gave them the message, milk was not coming, so how they did that is very curious. And I feel like it's drilling it down to that part, like, you didn't do anything wrong. And the adversity coming towards you, the negativity coming towards you, is not fair. Basically, somebody decided they were going to do what they wanted, and they didn't want to give you the power to tell them they couldn't do something. When in truth, you weren't telling them what they could or couldn't do. You were just saying, hey, milk's not coming. You're going to want to work around that. I feel like that was literally your connection to this. You weren't trying to make decisions for anybody. When I'm getting message, you were just literally relaying a message. We're not going to get milk today. You're going to need to work around it. And they got all bent out of shape, and they decided to do what they want to do anyway. Then when it blew up in their face, they just put all the blame on you, which was not fair, is what I'm getting. Now, they're saying with the citrine, like in this reading, I guess we're going to really center on the stone. Hold to your self-loyalty. Don't let somebody blame you, or don't let it just kind of pass by, just like, as if you could take partial blame. You don't deserve any of the blame, is what I'm getting. Reduce it. Reduce the situation to the bare, simple facts. My involvement in this situation is to order food and to inform so-and-so what's coming. I did that with plenty of time to spare. This is just making it really simple. Like, let's go right back to the base of like what connection you're supposed to have to this. My connection is to order the food. I let them know what's coming. I gave them 2 days to figure out something different, which was more than enough time. There was no way else to get milk. And I told them this, and they made their decisions based on this. So I am not responsible for what they chose. I'm not allowed to make that decision for them. Therefore, since I'm not allowed to make that decision for them, I'm not responsible for the decisions they made. I simply give them the information. I relay the message, and I did that. Simplifying it, just taking out, like reducing it. That's why this is upside down, I feel. The complicated is upside down, like reducing it to the bare minimum. Like, this is my connection. This is what I did. I did what was correct for me. I don't have the decision ability to make decisions for this person. I simply relayed the information, and they chose what they wanted to do. Now, what I'm seeing here, it ends with hope. I don't feel any more adversity towards you from important, well, how do I put this? You debunk it. If you do this and you debunk it, I just feel like the target is off your back. This person might be a little tricky. I'm getting kind of a really sour feel with this, which is strange for a general reading. If this person is as negative as it feels like they might be, they'll simply find somebody else to blame. In doing so, I feel like they will, if they don't immediately, they soon will sink their own ship. So I feel like this is actually, the hope is coming forward, because whoever tried to push the blame on you, it seems like that was a gross injustice. As you debunk it, you start to highlight what this person is really doing, and you might end up solving a problem you're not looking to solve. But it's not like you're directly going to be doing it, but somebody might get their just desserts for this because you debunk it. I feel like they might try to blame someone else, and in doing so, they might actually, sink their own ship. That might be how this disagreement finally ends. Not only that you debunk it, but you might actually, this person might be removed from the situation because of it. Maybe. Because I feel like it's being debunked, it's being quite, they're trying to blame someone else, then it becomes quite obvious who the problem is. Just be aware of that final outcome. Don't play into it. If this reading is really hitting for you, don't play into it. Just debunk your connection to it and let it be. Other people will figure it out. You don't want to look like you have an axe to grind. Just step away from it. Debunk your piece, step away, let other people do what they want. This person's going to sink their own ship. If you're not involved with it, it's not going to come against you, is what I'm getting. If you're kind of involved with it, it could get a little messy. I just feel like you don't want a part of it. So if this is really hitting with you, just debunk your piece, own what's yours, let it go, let other people handle it. It's just less messy for you. You'll be happier. All right. And I think that's what we have for that one. That's the citrine. All right, let's go to the next one. The next one is rose quartz, which is funny. Sometimes I question if I should use it that much because it feels like people are very drawn to rose quartz for the obvious reason that it's connected to love and usually promotes more love and harmony and things like that. The message here is it talk it out? Talk it out with a friend. Okay. That's there. Let's see, what do we have? I want this here. Is that the lovers? Oh, that's good. Okay. Now, the ending, I like the ending, but let's start here with the beginning. You got listening reversed, and then you got chaos. And I'm noticing chaos over, it's coming to the top. The top is usually more of the querent, the person asking the person who chose the reading to go here. Keep in mind, you know which side you connect with better, but that's typically the person choosing the querent is up on this side. Now, you got listening reversed with chaos. Like something was either heard wrong or took the wrong way, or somebody thought they heard what was actually happening and did not hear things correctly. For a few of you, it could even be like back talk behind the scenes, like somebody's talking things out, saying things like this way or that way, and you're just not getting the message and you're moving forward like everything's normal. Meanwhile, things are not working out because there's a lot of adversity. The listening reversed is definitely saying, though, a message is not being received. Something is wrong here, something is not being communicated, or at the very least, not being received correctly. For the majority of you, I really feel the chaos is because something is not being relayed. It's just not being relayed. One way or another, something is not being relayed. That's the base of it. I don't think we need to go into all these complicated ways it could be happening. But with chaos on your side, you're not aware of it. So either you are not aware that there's something that's not being said, or it is possible, and it happens to the best of us. You hear something, you think you heard one thing, what actually was said is something different. Or, to be fair, the way this person said it left it open for interpretation. You thought it was obvious what they meant, but they meant something different. Communication is a big problem here, though. That's the short of it. It's causing a lot of chaos because you think you understand what's going on, you're moving forward, things are not working out. It's almost like saying, somebody's like, I need help tomorrow with, getting home from work. And you take that as like, well, I should pick you up. You go there to pick them up, they're not there. You wait for an hour because you're like, you don't want to leave them stranded. You finally call them and they're like, I'm home already. And you're like, what do you mean you're home already? You said I had to pick you up. And they're like, I didn't say you had to pick me up. I said I needed a ride home. I didn't say you had to do it. And then I feel like that's where the next part of the argument comes in. Well, why'd you say it to me if you didn't want me to pick you up? Like, why'd you even say anything? I thought you wanted me to pick you up. Like, that's what I feel like this is like the connection I'm feeling here. Because I'm seeing chaos on your side. Like, you're hearing something. You're feeling like this denotes some action you need to take. You take that action and it blows up in your face one way or the other. And I feel like you're very upset about this. Kind of like, I don't understand why they told me to pick them up and then they found a different ride. Like, I went right out of my way. I waited an hour to make sure they wouldn't get stranded. And then they're acting like I'm the one who's the jerk. Like, they're the jerk. And I feel like this is the energy here. So what I'm getting here, and this is talk it out with a friend, is kind of like there's a miscommunication here. There's just a flat out miscommunication. And it needs to have this be solved, like a third party, hopefully that you're both connected with, you talking out your side with this person. Hopefully that person is willing to talk it out with the other person that you're dealing with so they can absorb both sides and understand like what was actually said, what was actually understood, and where it went awry. Because I feel like a third person, a non side choosing person, like a, what do you call it, that third party, that non-partisan third party, is that what I want to say, could say, okay, I see what happened. Your partner, we're just going to say that's how it was because you got the Lover's card over here, was talking out that they needed help. They didn't realize you were offering help. They didn't realize you could do it. They were just saying that they needed it. Then while they were working on it, somebody else offered them assistance. It didn't even occur to them, like they should have probably told you that they found a ride, but it wasn't occurring to them. Because there was a miscommunication here. They didn't realize you were going to do that. They didn't realize they said that and that you automatically assumed you needed to pick them up. They didn't hear if you said it. They didn't hear it that you said you were going to pick them up. They didn't get it. So when they found a resolution to that, they went into other things. They were busy doing this. It didn't even occur to them that you were going to do that. So when I explained it to them, like why you were there and what was going on, they realized why you were there now. They did not realize why at the time. So now that it's all solved, neither person really did anything wrong. The communication failed is basically what happened. And they didn't mean to set you up like that. So, and it's kind of like a third party saying, nobody was like out to get the other. It's just it was a miscommunication. And they're explaining the miscommunication and how they're seeing it from a third-party stance, how that happened. Like things were going busy around each of you. Maybe one said something and the other didn't hear it. Something like that. There's a miscommunication. Maybe there was some chaos around the situation when the communication was happening. That seems very easy to do. This third-party person, like they're saying, this could end the disagreement. If you get a third-party person to hear your side, to hear the other person's side, and then come to you both separately saying, this is what I learned from the situation, because you're not mad at the third party, neither of you are. You'll hear it that way. You'll come together with the lovers. Now, the lovers doesn't have to be romantic, but it's basically saying, passing the test, overcoming the odds, bringing things together, understanding that neither person was trying to get one up on the other. There was literally just a miscommunication that's probably connected to chaos, quite frankly. And you got the fledgling reversed, is what I'm getting realizing it's like, don't look at this like it's a new situation, because I feel like between the two of you, it's like whatever the situation was, the miscommunication, both you and whoever it is, both of you need to say, all right, we had a bad communication moment. So it's up to both of us to say, all right, for example, if you're going to play the situation out again, the person saying that they need a ride home from work the next day, they should be saying, will you, or I will be looking to get that ride from so-and-so. Or I'm working on getting that ride. I'm going to see if so-and-so is going to do it for me, or can you do it for me? That would be their side. Whether they do that or not, your side, when you hear this, is to say, do you need me to pick you up? And make sure that they hear you. And both of you need to make sure that each of you understands and hears the other person. Do you need me to pick you up? Do you have somebody else doing it? Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So that they respond back like they understand. Not in a vicious way, of course, but you want to double check and even remind each other, for example, if you're going to play the situation out again, that morning texting each other, one of you should text the other, I'll pick you up at this time, or for example, if they expect you to pick them up, I'll see you at this spot at this time. Just reinforcing we're both on the same page, or you texting them, I'll pick you up at this spot. That way, if one of you drops the ball and doesn't realize the other is misinterpreting something, if you're both trying to keep on point, one of you should catch the ball. One of you should be hey, this is what I'm expecting. Is that what's happening? So that way, if one of you is completely oblivious to what's going on, the other is picking up the pieces. Neither of you leaving it up to the other, just kind of realizing one or the other of you, due to chaos, could drop the ball without trying to. But if you're both double checking, you'll figure it out. Is this coming through? I feel like this is coming up because there's a lot of chaos. Every time I touch this card, I feel like there's constant chaos in the situation. And they're saying don't just assume. The fledgling reversed is don't assume the other person's just going to do their side. You each have to make a commitment to each other and yourselves. I'm going to reiterate. For example, if we're just going to hold it to your side, I'm going to that night make sure that they understand, I'm hearing that you want me to pick you up. Is that correct? And if they just seem to answer, but you're not 100% confident in the answer, maybe you're going to drop it for that night. But then that morning, just remind them, I remember you need me to pick you up. Do you want me to pick you up at this spot at this time? Is that the best place to pick you up? Just kind of like a reminder, like, I'm expecting to come to pick you up. I'm expecting to see you here when I get there. That way, if they get the message and they're like, wait a minute, what do you mean pick me up? I didn't think you were going to be picking me up. Why are we doing that? And then you could explain why, but also say, if you don't need me, that's fine. I thought that's what you wanted last night. It puts this in order. It's like saying, don't take this like a fledgling situation. The fledgling is saying that's a beginner step. If you were the fledgling, you'd be like, this is just the start. There's a new way. We got to figure out what we're doing here. We don't really know what we're doing. When it's reversed, it's saying this is not a new situation. Don't take this like we'll just play it by ear and whatever happens, we'll learn how to deal with it. That's not how you want to do this. It's like taking the strength and like saying both of us need to be empowered. Neither of us are just going to let this go. This has happened multiple times. We need to devise a plan to make sure this doesn't happen again. That's the fledgling reverse, like pulling on your experience because you know what's going on here. I don't feel like this is a fledgling situation for those of you who chose it. But I feel like the last part is, especially since I keep droning on about it, ending this current disagreement, bringing a third party in, that's fine. That will end it. But like, you don't want a reoccurring. If you don't do this last piece, you're going to have a reoccurring problem. And you don't want to constantly be bringing in a third party, like where the two of you are missing the connection, where the miscommunication is happening. The fledgling reversed is saying, recognize that this miscommunication is a constant thing that keeps reoccurring. And they're saying, find ways to work around it now. Instead of waiting for the next occurrence to happen, find a way to step away from it now and to find a way to resolve it before it becomes another situation. Are we good? Okay. Sorry, my dog was sniffing the door for some reason. So if you could hear that, it was kind of weird. So kind of threw me off. My crazy dog. One of my crazy dogs. All right, we got one more. Clear quartz. Clear quartz. Which is usually amplifying a situation. Things like that. Wait, more is coming. More is coming. Okay. Oh, it's a good card to have reversed. Okay, I like that. Alright, so there's disagreement. So the reason you should be clicking this is because you want to end a disagreement. So I'm getting here like, alright, so going into this feeling the disagreement feel, the other person, when I get honesty down on their side, that's this card. I don't know if you can, if I pull it up, you can read it. There we go. This card, honesty. Something hasn't come to light, clearly. But they are going to bring it forward. Alright, so that's fine. But the reason I feel like they're bringing it forward this way in this reading is kind of like, you'll be able to resolve your differences when you get the rest of the information. Like, literally it says, wait, more information is coming, more is coming. More information is what I'm feeling, obviously. I feel like it's information. I don't feel like more people are coming. I feel like it's information. When this comes forward, the honesty, the truth about what's really going on here, it brings things more into alignment. And you're able to come forward and you're like, all right, I see why you're disagreeing with me. I also see that we probably wouldn't have had such a disagreement if you told me this in the beginning. But anyway. When this comes forward, I feel like this gets a lot easier for you. I almost feel like this is like, it does say wait, literally, just like realize that there's a problem here. I actually feel like when the honesty comes in, I don't feel like somebody's being dishonest. I feel like it's, for example, a variable. Like, for example, they're not able to commit to something. They're not able to commit to a time or something like that, or to some type of resource, something like that, because they're not sure how something else is going to play out. But if it doesn't, but they don't want to bring it forward, kind of like, well, if that goes this way, I can do that. If that goes that way, I can do that. Because there might be a couple more variables, but beyond that, it's kind of like they have to see how the week is going to shape up before they can make, stable decisions. So they don't want to bring it forward because they're not really sure where certain things stand, and they want to make the best decision, but they don't want to like put out all these variables like, you know, I don't mind hanging out with you if I don't need to do that, but if I need to do that, then I can't hang out with you. They kind of want to make sure they already know what they're doing before they make any type of thing. They don't want to make any like false promises or false expectations. So what I'm getting here is like they're not telling you something because they don't know how it's going to play out just yet, and they don't want to bring that forward because it's a variable. Exactly how it plays out and what that means, because they might need to cancel the situation altogether. They're not really sure. They don't want to bring this forward. It may be a very personal thing to them that they don't want to even share certain things going on with them. Might be something like that. So the disagreement here is, I feel like it's a lot because they're not committing to something, or they're not telling you an answer, and you're like, why can't you just give me a yes or no? That's kind of how this feels right here. So when I'm getting vision, it's just like realize that more has to come in line for them. When things are more in line with them, I feel like they'll easily give you an answer. Differences will dissolve because you got differences reversed. They're just saying, be careful with this clear quartz. Like, don't get too energized and, you know, wanting the situation to resolve before it's time for it to resolve. Things have to come into play. Things have to go into place. When it does, I actually feel like they might not even tell you the details about what they were holding off for, or why they were waiting. But once they know where things sit, they'll move towards you. Differences will be resolved, and things will go forward. You'll be able to create them with this person. It feels like a co-creation thing here. You'll be able to create the next situation together fairly easily once they've resolved this situation. It doesn't seem to me that it's that bad. I just feel like you might be kind of like sitting over to the side, like, why can't they just give me an answer? Why can't they just help me with this? Why can't they just work with me on this? Basically, it's just because things have not come into play for them yet. Things have not settled yet, and for whatever reason, at least at this point, they don't want to share that with you. They may not even share the details when it finally comes forward. Even though they don't share the details, though, things will have been settled. They'll be able to make, you know, competent decisions, knowing where they stand and what they can and can't do. Again, they may not share the decision, or they may not share the details, but they'll be able to commit with you one way or the other about going forward, so that way this can be created very stably and very successfully. And I feel like the answer's been there. I probably said it like 5 times. Basically, they're waiting on more information they don't want to tell you about. But once it's settled, they'll work this out. Things will be fine. It's just pretty much waiting it out. That's the answer. What would it take to end this disagreement? Just backing off, giving them their space, let things settle for them. Once things are settled, I actually feel like they're going to come towards you. Differences will be resolved, and you'll move on. And I think that's it. All right. Well, thank you for watching. I hope that helps. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.